This week we're going to look at transitions and animations both in Impress and Google Docs. If you look at the video information posted for Impress first, you'll see that the concepts are really similar between it and Google Docs. So let's look at Google Docs, transitions and animations. I'm using the sample presentation from last week. You can see it's 5 slides. On the Google toolbar is the transition choice. If you click on transition, you'll see that a separate window opens up on the right-hand side, and initially it's open to transitions, and by default there are no transitions between slides. If you click the drop-down box, you can see you have choices of fade, slide left, slide right, flip, cube, and gallery. If we click on fade, you can set the speed, but you can also preview what it looks like. So if I click play, that's what fade looks like. If we click on the slide and then click another choice, slide from left, we can click play and it comes in from the left. And then we'll look at one more cube, click play, and cube kind of flips in. And then the gallery slides in from the side, sort of. So you can pick a transition and you can apply it to all the slides, or you can have a different transition for each of the slides. So if I leave slide from right for this one, click on the next slide, I'll apply the next transition, and then I'll apply a third transition, and then a fourth transition to the last slide. Now if we go to the beginning, click on the present button, you can see that these slides all affect the transition that we selected for it. Now, if you remember, when you're adding content to a slide, you're either adding text boxes or images or charts. Well, those individual objects are what we select to animate. So you can see over here, Google says, select an object to animate. If I click on this text box, you can see the transition stuff is gone, and we can add an animation. If I click on add animation, we can fade in, fade out, fly, zoom, or spin. I'll click fly. Now, how do you want it to come in? You can have it come in on click, which means the person has to click the slide before this content comes in, or we can bring it in after the previous or with the previous. So in this case, the previous will be the basic slide loading with the title, and if I click after previous, it's automatically going to come in. So again, you add your animation, and I can click play, and you see basic slide, and the information part of the slide spins in. If I go to the next slide, click on the slide first, go to the next slide. So here we have 2 different elements, and we can animate each of those separately. So I'll click add animation. I'll have this one zoom in after the previous, and then I will have this one spin in after the previous. So now let's play, and again we can adjust speed. So again, let's click play and see what happens. So you saw that came in first, then that followed coming in second. And then we can go down to this slide, and I can animate the picture. So this time I'm going to have it fade in when I click the button. So now if I click play, the slide shows up and nothing shows up. My picture doesn't show up until I click the slide. Then picture of my dog shows up. So those are some of the different ways you can animate and add transitions to your presentation. I suggest taking a little bit of time and looking at the differences between Impress and Google Docs and the different combinations you can do for transition and for animation in each of the two programs.